You know, I think sometimes the Chicago Bulls get put in the conversation for some of the greatest NBA franchises ever, but they really aren't. When we're talking about what the Chicago Bulls have done as a franchise, 5 of their 6 MVPs have been Michael Jordan. 1 of their 2 DPOYs have been Michael Jordan. 6 of their 6 championships has been Michael Jordan. 6 of their 6 finals MVPs has been Michael Jordan. 10 out of 10 scoring champions have been Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan isn't the Chicago Bulls. The Chicago Bulls are Michael Jordan. So when they get put in the conversation to be one of the greatest franchises ever, no, they just had one of the greatest ever, Michael Jordan. And before the Michael Jordan era, the Bulls, okay, they had some all-time great players. Jerry Sloan. That's all they had. Artis Gilmore was, he was in the MJ era. But Jerry Sloan, wow. And at that whole stretch, they've been mediocre, trash, missing the playoffs, not getting to the finals, not doing anything, not winning MVPs. And guess what it has been since Michael Jordan has retired? They haven't been making the playoffs consistently. They haven't been winning many awards. They won 1 MVP in 2011, and that was LeBron's. The Chicago Bulls haven't done shit without Michael Jordan in their whole franchise. But right now, they have some light at the end of the tunnel. Arturas Karnisovas came and he really offloaded this whole team, and he's been making great decisions, although the fans don't love it. So today we will talk about how Arturas Karnisovas has been making all the right moves to make sure that the Bulls will reach the playoffs again this year, and will make sure that their future is not, we're going to have a nice player and then they're going to leave, like Derrick Rose did, like Zach LaVine might do. So before we talk about Arturas Karnisovas, let's talk about their previous management, John Paxson. We all know John Paxson hitting that big 3 against the Phoenix Suns in the 1993 NBA Finals that kind of sealed the championship for the Chicago Bulls. And guess what that did? It gave him job security for the next 2 decades. John Paxson was their front office and was leading that while being mediocre, missing the playoffs, missing out on a lot of big talent. And, well, John Paxson did that. But he had job security because he hit 1 shot in 1993. John Paxson, when it came to being a front office man, was the mediocre of the mediocre, the ass of the ass. Nobody really saw John Paxson as a great GM or a great front office guy in general, but John Paxson hit a shot in 1993. Firing John Paxson was the first move to get the Bulls out of the state of mediocrity and missing the playoffs. So you know what they did? Arturas Karnisovas comes from Denver and signs a big deal with the Chicago Bulls to become their GM, and he's already started off beautifully. Nikola Vucevic for Wendell Carter Jr., Otto Porter, a pick, the 8th overall pick. Was that a bad trade? Bulls fans think it's a bad trade. Right after that, they lost their first 5 games. They weren't winning, but also people forget, bro, Zach LaVine got injured right as Nikola Vucevic came to the city. Okay. It was a bad trade to the Bulls. But guess what they do? They get a star-level center to build with Zach LaVine and hopefully hash out an extension with him. Arturas Karnisovas started his Chicago Bulls debut with a move that the fans didn't like, but that the fans will like in the future. A good example of this is Arturas Karnisovas when he signed Paul Millsap in Denver. He signed him with $30 million a year for 3 years. An amazing amount of money for an aging star who was basically just an all-star in his career. Nothing anymore. But Paul Millsap brought them leadership, winning culture, and he also brought them back to the playoffs for their first time since the Carmelo Anthony era. Now, Nikola Vucevic might not do the same, but they will be back into the playoffs for the first time since the Derrick Rose era. And then let's get into the next move that Arturas did that the fans didn't like. Just earlier today, the Bulls finalized a sign and trade in which they got DeMar DeRozan for Thad Young, a first and 2 seconds. Bulls fans right away were like, damn, we overpaid. DeMar DeRozan getting older. He can't shoot threes. He's not going to stretch the floor. He doesn't play defense. And while those are all true, DeMar DeRozan will get you to the playoffs. A core of Lonzo Ball, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Lauri Markkanen, and Nikola Vucevic will get you to the playoffs. I mean, they might not understand that, but that is exactly what you need. You need to break out and make the fucking playoffs. You've been missing the playoffs all these times, and are you going to sit in a consistent state of mediocrity your whole time? Before the Nuggets got Arturas Karnisovas, they were in a consistent state of mediocrity. We were trading for people like Randy Foye. We were trading Donovan Mitchell for Trey Lyles. We were doing the worst moves possible, and then Arturas Karnisovas came in and he overhauled our franchise and did some things we didn't like, but ended up paying off in the future. I mean, sure, we can talk about how DeMar DeRozan has improved as a playmaker. He averaged his career high in assists last year. He was a really good mid-range player. He was really efficient and one of the most efficient years of his career, while also improving the teammates around him. Cool. But the biggest thing is that DeMar DeRozan will get you to the playoffs. Also, Bulls fans loved the Lonzo trade, and I loved it too. But that was just an amazing thing that the Bulls did. They saw a team that wasn't going to match an offer for a star-level point guard in the future, and they hopped on it. Lonzo Ball, who improved as a three-point shooter, defender, playmaker, all that, and played really well next to Zion. And Zion even said he loved him. Here's a clip.
I mean, it'd be dope. I think, me, Brandon, and Zoe, three of us, we have a great relationship. I really would want Zoe to come back, and he knows that. But, like I said, the reality of the situation is, Zoe's a grown man, so he's going to make the decision that's best for him. The only thing I can say is I hope he stays.
And Zion, after saying he loved him, loses him to Chicago. You make Zion mad, you make your fans happy. You get Lonzo Ball, who is the point guard of your future, who is very young, who is improving every single year, and nonetheless will get you to the playoffs. But so the grand scheme of things is that Arturas Karnisovas has done things that the Bulls fans haven't liked. Trade your 8th overall pick for Nikola Vucevic, and that 8th overall pick becomes Franz Wagner. Franz Wagner is not getting you to the playoffs this year. Why are you tripping? A young rookie has been what you guys have been doing the last years. Oh, look, we get Lauri Markkanen, Kobe White, Chris Dunn, who you eventually traded off because he's ass. And you're probably going to do the same thing to Kobe White and Lauri Markkanen soon. Wendell Carter Jr., who was really solid, and then you traded him off. Bro, you have been acquiring assets and drafting for all these years and have been missing the playoffs. This is no time to keep missing the playoffs. You need to make a playoff push if you want people to come to your free agent destination. The Chicago Bulls are one of the best basketball cities in the world and one of the most storied franchises in the world just because of one man, Michael Jordan. But they don't use that to their advantage because they're not making the playoffs. Ever since MJ left, how many people do you think really wanted to play for the Chicago Bulls? Oh, D-Wade, Chris Bosh, LeBron James. They fumbled that and kept Luol Deng over those three players. But the grand scheme of things is that Arturas Karnisovas knows you can't build from the draft. A Jokic player will only come once in a generation. And Denver lucked out on that. But that's not going to happen to the Chicago Bulls. So he said, you know what? We're doing win-now moves that will get us to use our city as we can attract more free agents. Arturas Karnisovas has done an amazing job. And yeah, I'm looking forward to what the Bulls can do this season. And let me not forget, that Alex Caruso signing, really underrated. But yeah, that was 10 days in a row of videos for y'all. We'll see how much longer we can keep the streak up. I'm going to try and keep it up as long as possible. But thank y'all for watching the video. Make sure to subscribe and make sure to leave a like. Peace out.
I don't want your bitch, that's why I gave her back. They were boring and I do not be with that. Smoking on this tree, I eat with the cat. It be around me cause I don't trust a soul.